Welcome to the next video in the Zodiac series, the ultimate series in the complete galactic tarot sequence journey. We are now on day 76, and it's card 11, Zodiac 11. Today's card is Ma'at and ANUBIS, the weighing of the heart and the feather, which relates to, in the traditional, the sign of Libra, the scales of balance. Yesterday we were speaking about winged Isis, mother of galaxies. And now we've got a single feather. Today's episode also has a deep connection with my own journey, how I got here in this moment right now, things that have guided me along the way. This feather is also the feather of Ma'at. That's what it symbolizes in today's video. So, 11th sign, we're on now. And in the Zodiac process, we're now here, which is Libra. And the moon is about here. So 7-11. Okay. 7-11 happening. Okay. From yesterday's basking in the light of the mother of galaxies, winged Isis, now we reach the initiation in mastery of self, our own feather lifetime. On this path of gnosis, which it's known to each of us in our own way by our experiences, we are all called upon to look into the eyes of death. Some of us have had experiences where this has happened due to circumstances, but all must look one day. I will share a brief overview of my journey to the land of Maya when I was 20 to connect with their ancient wisdom. This is Ra's skull, saying hello again. So what happened when I went to the ancient land of the Maya? Well, years before even going to the land of the Maya, I did a lot of meditations, and I was having visions. Basically, I was much younger. I was figuring out what my next steps in my life were, and one of the visions I had was a guide that came to me. Yeah, and the guide was called Many Feathers. And Many Feathers, I chatted to Many Feathers, and I was pondering my life and what my next steps in my journey were. And this is how I came to the conclusion that I must go to the land of the Maya, since I had such a deep connection with the ancient wisdom of the Maya and the Zolkin and all the mathematics, it made sense to me to go to the source of that information. So that's what I was guided to do by many feathers. And many of feathers appeared to me in my visions as an ancient, wise, ancient... I'm not sure if... Was he actually Mayan? He could have been from Turtle Island, North America. But he definitely looked really ancient and really wise. And he had loads of feathers in his headdress. So that's what I decided to do. I decided to go to the ancient land of the Maya, and I planned out my journey as 7 weeks, 7 times 7, and I highlighted 7 places to visit. I wasn't strict with the time. I kind of went wherever I felt, but overall there was 7. And this is a little map here of what I did. So I started here, and this little group is called the Rutapuk, and there's several little sites there, still amazing sites, incredible architecture, places like, I think it's Labna and Kaba, I think there's another one, Sedna, I'm not sure, a group of them here, and that's where I went first, so that was the first step, and then next was Uxmal, which was the next journey, and the temple, pyramid of the magician. And then here is Chichen Itza, and really special things happen there. And then this is Tulum, and then I went down in Guatemala to Tikal, and then I got a boat along a river and went to Palenque, and then finally I took a bus that lasted at least probably a whole day, all the way over here to visit Teotihuacan. Yeah. So that was the 7 areas that I went over the period of 7 weeks. That's the map. And why did I go there? Well, I've mentioned before my near-death experience, and I talked about how the guide that was with me then described seeing different past lives. So I was on my path, trying to comprehend my experiences and be true to myself. So this is why I went here to the Maya lands, and I had connections to meet a Maya shaman, and there was a ceremony on the top of a Maya pyramid. And I talk about it here in my first book. It's on page 80. During my time in Mexico in 2000, I stayed at Chichen Itza for about a week. I planned to be there after previously reading a book by John Major Jenkins, bless him, called Maya Cosmogenesis 2012. An awesome book. So it was on that day, the day of no shadows, as it was the Zenith day, Yellow Rhythmic Human, 8 Eek, or May 20th in the Gregorian. I was within the pyramid of Kukulkan at midday in deep meditation at a Mayan ceremony for the solar zenith alignment with the Pleiades. It was a great honor to be there, and I was lucky to have shared time with the Maya elder leading the ceremony about a week before for several days of one-to-one tutorials on Mayan cosmology. And it was during those tutorials, this is where my spirit name Hun Kukum originated, through my vision of the one white feather of peace and sacred intent during initiation with the Mayan elder. There's Chichen Itza here. So this is what happened with the Mayan elder. Yeah. So I saw a vision while I was with the Mayan elder, and my vision was that I was standing on a pyramid, yeah, and many feathers was standing next to me, and I was standing there, I didn't have a full headdress. I just had one white feather. Yeah. It was like an initiation in the vision. It was like a visionary initiation. So I stood there with a one white feather on the top of the pyramid, being initiated in the vision. And then after the vision finished, afterwards I talked to the Mine Elder and I asked him, what is feather? What's the Mayan word for feather? And he said, kukum. And I already knew what the number 1 was translated as hun, hence the name hun kukum, one white feather. Okay? So there I was, travelling around Mayaland for 7 weeks. 7 times 7 is 49 days, and in the Buddhist tradition, they describe that as the bardo, or the death passage. I found that out later in life, or I don't think I was aware of that much Buddhism when I was 20. I was mainly into the Mayan stuff. While I was there, I had initiations with my shaman, both on top of the Chichen Itza pyramid and also during teachings in person, where I learned about their 13-dimensional cosmology. The number 13 is deeply interwoven into this Oracle of Ra system. So talking about Oracle Ra system, here's today's card, and it's Ma'at and Anubis, and this is the scales of balance with the tree. Yeah, we've spoken about the tree already. Here's the tree, but this is in relation to a lifetime and the weighing of the heart with the feather. So, card 11, Zodiac 11, Ma'at and Anubis, traditional sign Libra. Ma'at and Anubis occur here as the archetypal guardians of the soul in this life and the next. In this image, the scales are now transformed into the ceremonial weighing of the soul's heart with the feather of Ma'at in truth and justice. The aim is to have a heart as light as a feather in life, always living with infinite care and in service to the highest good of all. Their symbol is the tree of life. In this version, it has 11 spheres, which include the sphere of Dath, or Saturn. I've spoken about the center of the tree before and how it relates to the days of the week. The spheres symbolize in this system the dimensions or planes of reality that the soul may traverse in its journey back to Source. In this system, it represents the knowing that we determine our soul's evolution through the choices we make. 11 is the first master number, and so we must become. Right. In my vision, I was standing next to one of my spiritual guides who had appeared in my meditations and during shamanic journeys, who was called Many Feathers. I stood there and had a single white feather headdress. In the ancient land of Kemet, ancient Egypt, their mysteries include the weighing of the heart with the feather of Ma'at at the point of death. So the initiation becomes your own relationship with yourself and your own actions. Does your heart weigh heavy or light? Do you live up to your intent and integrity? In the end, it is ourselves who judge us. This is what I have learnt on my journey as Hun Kukum, which is the name given to me by the Maya shaman. Hun Kukum, one feather. Blessed be. Let's have another look. Ra's skull. During my first video series, when I got to the card number 13, which is in the tarot is the death card, I was lying down having a rest, and I was contemplating how I could communicate some inherent principles, values. We have different words for these things. Understanding. To talk about things that we don't usually talk about. And so I had another little vision there. And I think this relates to ANUBIS. And in relation to the weighing of the heart. It can either be a liberating experience, or what ends up happening is you start chewing over your life. So the vision I had in the previous series, Galactic Arcana number 13, I'll introduce you again to my dear friend, Mr. or Mrs. Chompy Skullface of Doom. Face to face with the nameless. Yum, 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 munchity crunchity. Okay, so what's going on down here? I'm a this, I'm a that. Yeah, who are you? Do you know? Because, you know, this is the thing. If we have all this baggage, you know, once we reach Chompy Skullface, is Chompy Skullface going to end up chewing for quite a while, or are we a diamond? Yeah. Are we true to ourselves and our principles? I am that I am. Well, that's the path of no fear, because you've already chewed over it. Chewed over. In our own, it's your own personal experience. Everybody has to experience it for themselves. This is a vision I received to try and describe my own experiences in relation to contemplating my own death, having had a near-death experience, and all the different things that led to my life experiences now, which led to even create this system and go to the ancient land of the Maya, and all the different things that have happened in my life and my experiences. This is part of my journey with this, to try and describe what I feel is part of our experiences as humans. You know? I mean, it's pretty... I don't think it goes deeper, really, to be perfectly honest. You know? Who's responsible for whose actions? Why did they do it in the first place? Why do these horrendous things happen on our planet? Why do people have to die so much unnaturally? Why do we not even talk about it? Why is there such a resistance to what's termed now shamanic information? And these are all English words to describe ancient practices, you know. So I'm using those words because that's the only verbal language I speak, which is English. But to me, it's the math. And today's card is about the white feather. Yeah. So the weighing of the heart. You know, the chewing over You know, is there stuff to chew over, or are you a diamond? If you're a diamond, then, you know, you just kind of float through, because Chompy Skullface has been chomping for, you know, eons, so he's got some missing teeth. So you just kind of flow through and on with the incarnational cycles. But if you've got so much baggage that you haven't chewed over, then you're probably going to end up getting stuck in Chompy's teeth for a while, you know, and get chewed over. So, I mean, either you chew over it now, or you end up chewing over it then. It's all just personal choice, really. But I feel this is important to share, because this is like weighing of the heart. And that's how I see it. This is my own explanations to describe what I feel I've understood. And remember, we are in the archetypal realm, the spherical realm here. This is where we are, right? So we're talking about archetypes here. Yeah. Archetypal realm. So we were here yesterday, and now we're here. So we're very close to the completion of the Zodiac of Ra sequence, and the next two are really a pair, the 12 and the 13. And it was when I was about 12 or 13 that I had my near-death experience. So this is both feminine and masculine, male and female paths are honoured. The 12 and the 13. Yeah. Both are challenged. Yeah. The intuitive feminine is challenged to be more logical, and the logical masculine is challenged to be more intuitive. Yeah. So that's the next two cards coming up. And yeah. May all of this awareness and gnosis be dedicated to the peace that never ends, starting off with 19,000 years of peace to basically be honoured as a member of the galactic beings. We have to basically pass all the tests. So as a planet, we need to initiate 19,000 years of peace, and all wars and hostilities must cease. And the military needs to be transformed into basically protectors of humans, because we have things like volcanoes and tsunamis and hurricanes and meteors and all kinds of things, which is really what the military should be looking out for. They have no business. Yeah. They make a lot of money, but they have no business fighting. The wars are over, because in the light of gnosis, yeah, you can see why the wars started in the first place. And therefore we can go to the root of the problem and heal it as a planet. And therefore there would be no need for wars anymore. But we could still have, protectors. Yeah. That would be the true use, purpose, unity of purpose. Yeah. Yeah, hurricane force, volcano force, yeah. Yeah, you can keep all the badges. Yeah, keep all the badges, you know. Do you protect people from hurricanes or volcanoes or meteors? You know, you could have all the different, you know, captains and all the rest of it. But we wouldn't be fighting our own species. No, 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 no. No, we live in a cosmos. We live in a galaxy. Fighting against our own species. Wow. Do we actually know why we're all fighting? Is it maybe perhaps we've forgotten these things called natural cycles and instead just point the finger? Well, you know, if the higher echelons just keep hiding this ancient wisdom, well, I'm not going to stop sharing it, because my sacred intent as Hun Kukum, yeah, is this: 19,000 years of peace, fractal, to start off with. And that's what all the codes I've created and worked with serve to produce the output of 19,000 years of peace. That's what all my work is dedicated to, is peace. But it's not a fluffy piece. No, it's a diamond. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a diamond. Because I've gone into the darkness. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've shared all different aspects of myself. Yeah, I've gone into the darkness and I've healed it. Yeah. All the information's already there. Yeah. Well, this is just the beginning. Yeah. Thank you, many feathers. Wow. Wow. So it looks like in the end, I was having a vision of my future self. And my future self was guiding me to this point in my life. So, Hun Kukum has now become many feathers. And each of the feathers represent all the different aspects of this wisdom, which started off with the original intent of peace and justice. So I can't do anything but give thanks. Give thanks to be here now. Give thanks that somehow this information is going to create peace for 19,000 years. I'll challenge all scientists to come up with a better version. Anybody else who wants to challenge me, that's fine. Open to dialogue, but before you open a dialogue, you're going to need to check the maths and get back to me. So, 19,000 years of peace. Fractal. May universal peace prevail on our beloved planet Earth. Take care, everyone. Blessed be.